Good morning. I thought it was a great opportunity for us to get together this morning because I had to do a thank you. I had to create a thank you for a friend. I have a wonderful friend, Donna, and she is from Louisiana, but she lives here. And she made us gumbo. And it is amazing. It's amazing. That's all I can say about it. And we love gumbo. And whenever she fixes gumbo, she thinks of us. And last night she social distanced, brought over a pot, set it on our front porch, and left it for us. And it was amazing. And so today I'm going to return that favor. I'm going to keep social distancing, and I'm going to take a beautiful bouquet of flowers over and set it on her porch. And so I was going to make it this morning. I got some flowers. Stopped at the hotel house and got some flowers. Where my hotel house, where they're also being very safe and social distancing and all that fun stuff too. And I thought, I'm going to make an arrangement. And I thought, well, why shouldn't I share it with you? Why shouldn't we share this together, making an arrangement for this? And just some of the fun tips and tricks that go into it, because that's what this is all about. And I want you to enjoy the fact that we make flowers. We know that there's health and wellness benefits, right? For arranging flowers ourselves, our body secretes endorphins that make us feel calmer and more zen-like. That's why I like to arrange flowers. But then when we enjoy them ourselves, we have happier thoughts, less depression, we calm ourselves down. But when we gift them to someone else, that person also releases melatonin, and it makes them feel happier when they get a gift of flowers, and then they get the same health and wellness benefits when they enjoy them in their home. So I think that's something for us to remember. It's something that we can still continue to do and should do, whether we're going to the grocery store and picking up a few flowers for ourselves, or so many great florists right now are doing curbside delivery or pickup, and you can do that too. Or the fact that maybe you have some in your garden, maybe you live in a place where it's not 31 degrees outside this morning, where you have flowers, so you can enjoy those flowers in your home. But I just want you to remember to include flowers in your life. It's a really important part. And so I thought, let's make this together and let's enjoy it. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So this is one of my favorite vases. I buy these vases by the case because I love them. They're the Rio Cache, and they're a smaller size of it. And I just really love them because they have this tapered neck. And that tapered neck makes them easier to arrange in. I know, right? And so it's what I call a smart vase, because smart vases make it easier for us to arrange. Vases that aren't smart aren't as easy, but this is an easy one. So I filled it up with ice cold water just right out of the tap. And then I'm going to add my Chrysler Professional 3. Now, I know that there are 2 liters of water in here, so I need 2 pumps. So 2 pumps of my Chrysler Professional 3, and I'm all set. Okay, so we got that done. That way, we're going to ensure that my friend Donna, who's going to enjoy this, is going to get the longest life she possibly can. And all she'll need to do is top it off. She'll just need to add water on top of this. She doesn't need to worry about taking them out or changing the water or recutting the stems. I know a lot of people do all that stuff, but it doesn't help. It's not something that's helpful. Okay. Topping off is better. And topping off with flower food water is the best. That's the best way to do it. We're going to be using our dram tools today. I've got my compact pruner, and I've also got my bypass cutter. And these are in the green color points, and those are going to be my 2 tools that we're going to use for this arrangement today. I've laid everybody out back here, so we have different types of foliages. We have different types of flowers. This is going to be a fall Thanksgiving theme because this is the time of year that we can get these. Okay, I just love a chrysanthemum, and I love these fall tone chrysanthemums. I wish people grew them all year long. I know they don't because people think of fall, but I wish they did because I would get these all year long. I am crazy about a chrysanthemum. I love the way they smell. I love the way they look. I love the way they look in an arrangement. So the first thing that we're going to do is I was taking in all my plants the other day, and I decided that I needed to get my passion vine inside. And I'm trying to winter over my passion vine, fingers crossed. I wintered over my Dracaena last year, my Dracaena spike, and I wintered over my rosemary plant. And so I wanted to winter over my passion vine. And so my passion vine had grown up onto the deck, and it had grown into the wisteria, which was really fabulous because every so often in the summer, there'd be a passion flower up in there. And so I cut it away from there, and I brought the plant inside. And I did that about 2 weeks ago. I was looking out this morning, and I thought, what is that? Oh, it's passion vine. It has frozen. It has snowed. It has done everything. And look at that pretty little passion vine. Pretty little vine that was hanging out there. So I grabbed it and I brought it in, and oh, look, it's even got a little passion vine on it, a little passion flower. Isn't that cute? That would have been the last one of the year, the very last passion flower of the year. How about that? Okay, so what I'm going to do with this is I wanted to use it to decorate my vase. Typically, again, with this narrow vase, I could tie ribbon around it, but I thought today that I would tie some of this passion vine around it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab it around there and I'm going to weave it around there. Okay, so there, that's set on there now. And I don't know, I was trying to decide, should I leave the leaves? Should I keep? I think I'm going to keep. Now that I see this, of course I'm going to keep them, right? And so this one I'm going to do a little bit looser. Looser, is that a word? I guess it probably is. Okay. More loose is probably what someone would tell me, I'm sure. But okay, we want to make sure that we get this secured around there. And then I'm going to bring that around over there. Now, I need to stick that through there. And I've got a couple of these leaves that are just kind of hanging on. I think they look okay, but, you know, I know that I don't want them to look, I want them to look fall-like. I don't want them to look dead. So, but I think, you know, that's the cool thing. That one of the things that I so much love about fall is that when it starts to change, when our outdoors changes and the tones get different and there's the yellows and the bronzes and all of those things. So that's also going to be the inspiration for the structure of foliage we're going to use in this arrangement first, okay? So we are going to use a piece of Magnolia. I have a video going up on YouTube about the Magnolia and the Magnolia wreaths from Fern Trust. This is one of those pieces of Magnolia. And again, I'm just going to cut this guy. I'm going to pull off any of those that's going to fall below the water line. And I'm just going to put that down inside there. I want him just a little bit shorter. Okay, there we go. So again, what we're doing is we're creating that structure inside the vase. Now, this is when you would probably, you know, get yourself a cup of coffee or maybe a cup of hot chocolate or whatever. If wine, I love that, whatever you want to do. And you can start to arrange your flowers, maybe put on your favorite music, go in your favorite place in the house, light a candle, burn incense. You pick what it is that makes you feel great. I love that when I'm arranging right now, you can't see this, but there's a chair right back there and Ladybird sits in the chair and she watches me. She likes to watch me arrange flowers, and I love that too. So in these, I got these at the Host House the other day too. They're oak leaves that have been painted. Okay, so this one's been painted in rust, this one's been painted in orange. It almost perfectly matches that beautiful back of those magnolias. See, look at how those leaves look together. And when I have these extra pieces, I'm just going to hang on to those because that's wonderful little topping for me to put on the table or to decorate with. I love that kind of stuff. So that's wonderful. I'm going to use this one too, but I'm going to add it later. Since we're talking about topping, I'm going to add this later as topping too. Okay, and then I also have some Carolina Sapphire that I got from my friends at Fern Trust. This is one of my favorite fall Christmas evergreens, but I just love the way that it looks because it's got a blue coloration to it. And look at how that little piece is going to sweep out over there. And then look at this one. This one has some great little berries and things on it. So I'm just going to trim those off because, again, that's stuff I can use to decorate with later on if I want to. And then we're going to put this in there. So now we've got a pretty good structure that's already starting inside our arrangement. We've got our passion vine wrapped around the neck of the vase, and then we've got this beautiful structure in here, and that's going to help hold our flowers in place, okay? So it's going to be helpful for us. So now we can start to add our flowers, and I think what I'm going to start with is I'm going to start with those beautiful mums, right? And I just love those chrysanthemums. When I was a kid, we grew chrysanthemums in our greenhouses, and we grew all colors. We grew rust, and we grew lavender, and we grew yellow, and we grew white, and we would especially grow the yellow ones for homecoming and for prom, because that's what we would use them for. And sometimes those mums that we would grow in the greenhouse would be as big as my head when I was a little kid. I mean, we would grow mums that were this big. And you would disbud them, and disbudding them, removing any of the other buds, sends all the strength to this flower. And then that flower is able to get bigger, get more strength, get more vigor to it, right? So look at as we go along there, we're adding those first. And, you know, when you group a couple flowers together, you get more impact with them. And so by having those three together right there, and then I'm going to add another one back here. I'm not polka dotting them. I'm going to have them have another support flower with them. So with this one right here, I'm going to add a shorter one right behind it. Okay. And then I'm going to save one. Okay. I'm going to save that one with my piece of greenery, the little oak leaf, for later. Okay. And now let's see, what else do we have over here? Oh, I love this. So look at this. This is just a little micro mini pom pom, little teeny tiny daisy pom pom. That's interest. Okay. That's an interesting thing. I only have one stem of that. Okay. And so it's a really interesting little piece. And you know what? Because I only have one stem, I'm going to save it too. Okay. So then I've got some Hypericum. Look at this big fat Hypericum. I bet you money that this is Hypericum from Ethiopia, for my friend over there who grows this amazing Hypericum. And it's just big fat Hypericum. And Ethiopia is one of the best places on the planet to grow Hypericum because it just performs so well. And they get these big, 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 fat, juicy little berries on them. Hypericum is St. John's wort. So, you know, St. John's wort is also known as an antidepressant to help us calm our nerves and stuff like that. So it also calms our nerves by looking at it in our arrangement. So that's great too. And then, okay, I've got a couple of little daisy pom-poms here. Now you'll notice again, I'm pulling all my leaves off that would fall below the water line because I don't want it to make a mess. That's going to create bacteria quickly under the water. So if I pull that off, then it won't do that. And it's going to last longer and it's going to be better for my friend that I'm giving this to. So we're going to add a couple of those. Now, if I put them on one side together, I'm going to get that same type of impact that I talked about before. So now look at, they're right there together. My Hypericum is right there together. We've got great impact from these. We've got great impact from those. So by grouping those flowers together, we're creating good impact in our arrangement. Even our Magnolia is grouped right here. So that's going to create good impact as well. I've got another cushion pom-pom here that's just adorable, and I love that. The nice thing about having it cold outside is I've got my own cooler now, and I do love that. In the summertime, it gets hot here in Michigan, but in the winter, it stays cool. And so I can keep these in my garage, and it got, even though it got down to 31 last night, my garage only got down to about 38. And so it was perfect place for me to keep these, and I can make them last longer by doing that. That's great. It's a fun way for me to use that as to my advantage. Okay. I am going to work on this year. We are, Kelly and I have talked about how in Norway and Denmark, in the Scandinavian countries, what they do is they embrace the fall, and they talk about, you know, how it's a time to embrace the winter time. And as it gets colder and darker and more snow, embracing those things, wrapping your arms around it and enjoying when it snows and how it looks outside and it's so peaceful and the colors and the night sky and things like that. And just enjoying it and embracing it rather than bitching and complaining about it, right? Because we know that there's enough of that going on. So I like the fact that we're going to embrace it, and we're going to talk about ways that it can improve our lives and be helpful. Look at beautiful yarrow. You know, I planted my yarrow and bedded it down for the winter. It's out in the garden right now. But now I've got this yarrow that I can include in this arrangement. And I love what that does. Now look I dropped that guy right down into the center. Isn't that pretty? And you know what? I feel like I need one more, like right down in there. I'm gonna use the bigger one, right down in there. Okay. So we're gonna cut him a little bit shorter, and we're gonna go in there and we're gonna tuck him in, and he's gonna go below that hydrangea. That hydrangea. No, that chrysanthemum. Okay. I like, I'm famous for saying the wrong thing. So if you catch me, write it in the comments. I love that. And we can think about it together. That's really fun. Okay. So there. Oh, now look at that. It tucks right down in there. So I think that's going to be beautiful. That's really nice. I really like this cypress in there. And I've got a little bit more. I got a smaller bucket down here. And I'm going to grab another piece because I want another piece right here. There. And then I've got this other piece then. It looks like this. So I can tuck that in right back here. And it's just going to add a little texture and a little dimension back in there. I think that's nice. I got one more little one back here too. And because look see how this is softening that and softening this. And then I've got this. I love that magnolia, but it's big and hard back there, right? So I want to add a little softening with it right here too. See, and this is part of what you do when you're arranging flowers is you're making these artistic decisions and you're deciding what you're going to do with things and move things around. And it's just part of that relaxation that happens when we create this. It's just so fun. I wish that guy was just a little bit shorter. I want him to be tucked down in there a little bit more. See, like that. There. See, making those changes, making those decisions is A-okay with me. All right. And it should be A-okay with you too. It doesn't mean that just because you stuck something somewhere, it has to stay there. Okay. We had the orange ilex, the blaze ilex or flame ilex from our friends at Sun Valley. And so I wanted to use a couple pieces of that in here because this is that orange ilex. Now look what that did to that arrangement. Look at how it brightened it up. Isn't that amazing? How just adding a little touch of color into something changes it dramatically. And look at, there go the little ilex berries when I put it in there. But look at how pretty that is, right? A little bit of accent in there. And so now we've got some beautiful roses, right? And of course, we've got to have some roses inside here. And so again, we're cutting all those off. I'm trimming off the thorns. And then we're going to tuck those down inside here. And again, we're going to group them so that they fall together in a nice little group. I had to hope that my bouquet holds up to the gumbo because oh my gosh, it was so good. Oh, I wanted to lick the bowl when I was done. It was so delicious. So I got to make a beautiful arrangement, to say thank you. I think that that's perfect. Now I'm going to tuck one of these over here because look at how I got that little grouping up here, but then I bring it over here and I accent it there. And you know what? I need one more underneath it. Right down in there. And then we're going to put one right here next to that orange ilex. I really like that. I really, really am enjoying that passion vine around the outside of the container. I think that that's really a fun little accent and a fun little thing to go with that. So now we have our topping. So what, again, I want to remind you of is that when we're building an arrangement, we're still building it with our structure down below. So we've covered up some of our magnolia. We've covered up some of our leaves and things like that. And I don't want that to be the final thing. So I want a nice piece of leaf sticking out right there, right? And so if I put him in first, he may have gotten buried. But now he goes in last. And then he's right in there, activated with everybody. Remember how I told you that this was interesting? Our little pom-pom was very interesting. So we're going to go right on top up in here so that he didn't get buried, and he's going to get noticed now. He's on top looking at everybody. And then I have one more of these beautiful mums. And I just, I like to save one of the focal flowers towards the end because, you know what? I think it goes right there. I mean, even though I would talk about him being topping, he still is topping because he's going to be on the outside and he's going to go there. Okay? Now look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And so here's the thing. I made it. I feel good about myself. I got the benefits from creating this and releasing the endorphins that allowed me to be creative and allowed the flowers to be here. And then I'm going to gift this to somebody else, and they're going to enjoy that as well. That's the cool part about flowers. Here's one more of my favorite tricks. Once I'm done, we're always pushing things down into the bouquet, right? And so gravity is going to, and pressure is going to take and push everything down inside there. So the last thing I sometimes do is I'll reach inside there and I'll just pull up and loosen. Okay? And all I'm doing is just spinning it around on my turntable and loosening everybody up. Just give them a little tug, a little twist, a little pull, and it gives it a little bit more dimension, makes it a little bit bigger, makes it look nice. Make it nice, right? And so now I've got a pretty little arrangement. So I hope that you enjoyed that. I hope it was fun for you. I just thought it would be fun for us to get together and make an arrangement to give to somebody. And that it's fall colors too. So now we have some great ideas that we can use for those fall colors. These techniques that you saw do not apply just to fall arrangements. They can be winter arrangements, spring, summer, fall, winter. It does not matter. Okay, you can use all of these anytime you want to. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that we had a good time together. And until I see you next time, keep having fun with flowers. Thanks.